Hi everyone and welcome back to another Cherry Pick Academy series. In this series we're going to learn about a powerful tool called Git by exploring a metaphorical magical library. But before we can unlock its doors, we need to understand the problem Git was built to solve. Let's imagine a writer, Alex, at her desk. As she works, she saves copy after copy, terrified, of course, of losing her good work. Soon her folder is a mess with all these different versions, and let's say she was away for 2 weeks and she's back at her book or thesis, and now she doesn't know which version is the actual final version. And for chapter 2, she made some changes, but now she doesn't like those changes and she wants a previous version of chapter 2, but she doesn't know which of these different versions has the good version of chapter 2. So she has a little bit of mess with all these different versions. And this chaos is stressful and takes a lot of her time. Then the moment of crisis arrives. She hits save and she overwrites her brilliant ideas that are now lost forever. But what if there was another way? What if instead of this chaotic folder, she had access to this magical library, an archive that doesn't just store files, but perfectly preserves every snapshot in time. A place where no idea is ever truly lost, basically. This library, this time machine for your project, for your folder, is what Git allows us to build. Now, let's feel that pain of this messy folder again one more time in the real world and then prepare to build our own library with Git. All right, we're going to simulate Alex's messy folder. For that, I'm going to use what is called a terminal. If you're on Linux or Mac, you can use the terminal. If you're using Windows, you don't need to have a terminal for this video. But for the next videos, if you have downloaded Git, it comes with Git Bash for Windows, where you can use command lines in the terminal. For that, you can check video 0 from this playlist where we show how you can download and install Git on your system. All right, let's get started. So I'm gonna first create a directory or folder. So for this in terminal, you can use the command mkdir, which stands for make directory, and I'm gonna call it Alex's book. All right, so we created this folder or directory. We can use the list ls command to list the items in the directory. So we see there are 2 subdirectories here. This is the new one, Alex's book, that we just created. We can use cd command to change directory. So we want to move into this directory. So I will use cd Alex's book to move to that directory. Again, if these are new for you, don't worry. For the purpose of this video, you can use whatever. You don't need to use terminal. You can use GUI in Windows to create folders and files. So don't be worried. So now we're inside the directory, Alex's book. We can list. We see that there is nothing there. We can also do the print working directory, which gives the full path of where we are. So we are basically inside our Alex's book. Another command that I use a lot is clear, which basically clears the terminal. All right, so far we have created the directory. What we need to do is now to create the file. So chapter 1 of Alex's book. For this, you can use different things. For example, you can use the touch command. I'm gonna use nano editor. So it's like editor, command line editor that you can use. And I'm gonna call it chapter1.txt. This should open the editor, and now we can write the book. I'm gonna just copy paste a paragraph here to be fast. All right, let's say we have the first paragraph. I'm just going to quickly save this and exit so that I can show what is inside this text file. So for that, we need to do Control O on Mac and then enter. And now we can exit with Control X. All right. So basically, so far we just created a file in the terminal and we have a paragraph. So let's see, we can use cat and to basically look what is inside. So you see that this is the text inside. It was a dark and a stormy night, a flash of lightning lit up, and the road ahead, blah, blah, blah. So this is the first paragraph that basically Alex has written. Now, let's say after some time, she wants to further work on this chapter. So what she does is she makes a copy. So she uses the cp copy command, chapter 1, and she calls it chapter 1 version 2.txt. So now if we list, we have now 2 files. So she wants to basically make a backup. So this chapter 1 original file is a backup. Now she wants to work on this one. So basically she opens the chapter 1 version 2 now, and she wants to add basically another paragraph to it. So let's say she adds this and she saves with Control O and then enter and Control X. All right, so let's see what is inside version 2 now. So now we see the second paragraph is added to version 2. And let's say after a while she wants to further work or maybe change something. So again, in order to not destroy her latest work, she will again copy this time chapter 2. At best, if she remembers which one is the latest one, not this one. If she copies this, she will already be in mess. So she copies this one to now chapter 2. Maybe she calls this time final.txt. Okay, let me fix this. It's not chapter 2, it is chapter 1 and chapter 1. And now I'm gonna clear. Now we see that this time she made a backup. So she kept chapter 2, she made a copy, and she has this final. We can check the final, chapter 1 final, and it's like this. I'm gonna clear, and now let's say she opens this final one and she wants to I don't know, change the first paragraph. So let's try to remove the first paragraph and update it. All right, I removed the first paragraph, and let's say she updates it with the following version. Let's again Control O, enter, and Control X to save the changes. Let's see the new final. So we see that the first paragraph has changed. But basically you can see that this is becoming a mess. Let me clear. So you can see that this is already a mess because every time she wants to make changes or work on her book, she has to basically make a copy so that if things go wrong, she doesn't lose her previous work. And soon this will get out of hand because you will have a lot of versions and it will become very difficult to find things and you will introduce mistakes. So this is not ideal. In the next video, we're going to use our very first real Git command to build our magical library. We will use this library basically to version our work. As you can see, we have an issue with versioning. We cannot keep manually all these different versions because at some point it's too much to handle and we will make mistakes. For this, we will use our magical library Git. Now, to follow along from the next video onwards, you'll need to have Git installed on your computer. If you already don't have Git installed on your system, don't worry, you can watch episode 0 of this playlist where we show how you can download and install Git on your system. I will also put a link in the descriptions to that video. In this video, we saw why we need to have a better way of working on, let's say, a book, or if you're working on your thesis, or the main use of Git, which is if you're coding or if you're programming. For now, make sure that you have Git installed on your system so that you're ready for the next video, and see you in the next video.